I know you're all undoubtedly itching to watch our latest video, but before that gets underway, we just need to bring you some news that we put on Twitter and all our other social media and our website earlier to say that we're no longer, unfortunately, able to do matchday experience videos. We didn't start the channel with the intention of doing matchday experience videos, but because they were going down so well, we continue to do them, and obviously it was giving people a look at what goes on a match day for people who weren't able to make the games. But EFL rulings have meant that we're no longer able to do that, so there's not really anything we can do about it, but we do apologise to the subscribers that enjoyed watching those videos, and we're as disappointed as you are. Full information will be available underneath this video, and also if you check out our website, thevillaview.co.uk, there is a full explanation of why we have had to announce this news. Cheers. Too often over the year or so since this channel's been going, either me or Matt or both of us together has had to sit here and talk about what's gone wrong at Aston Villa, why are things so bad, isn't it terrible to be a Villa fan? But for once, we've managed to conjure a good run of form together, so it only feels right that we appreciate this and do a video on what's going right at Aston Villa currently. I think the biggest thing that's happened that's made us turn the corner is the fact that obviously we had a bit of a scattergun approach to the January transfer window. We obviously changed a lot of personnel around, and having that kind of thing click straight away was probably never going to happen. I mean, I don't think that any of us thought that we'd go on such a bad run as we did. But now those players have all bedded in, and they are very, very good players in the Championship. You're obviously starting to see the team click by virtue of the fact that we've got players that are adept at playing in the Championship who've just come in. But not only that, they are some of the best players in the Championship. So I think now the only way is up with them on board.
Yeah, they've bedded in quite well. The likes of Henry Lansbury's looking a real part of that side now. Conor Horan's coming to fruition quite a lot now. And obviously in goal as well, Sam Johnston's gathered a bit more confidence about him, for example, and he made some key saves, especially against Wigan at the weekend.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I've criticised him quite a lot since he came in, and I still think long term it isn't a good move for Villa, but I can't knock one goal conceded in 6 and 5 clean sheets in 6, so the guy's obviously got something about him. I still remain doubtful that Villa will see the long-term benefits of this, but if he can contribute in the short term, which he is at the moment, although I don't think he's been massively busy, that goes to show again that players need time to bed in. They're not going to come in and set the world alight straight away. And to be fair, James Chester's come out after the game of the weekend against Wigan and said the defence didn't really do him any favours. We were all over the place, so it's probably a bit of the defence was a bit nervous because of Johnston. Johnston was a bit nervous because of the defence, but we seem to have ironed that out now. And the new players, they all look good. I mean, I still think the players we signed in the summer at the time, although they haven't all worked out, were good signings. But I think the January business, we took a hit for form in the short term, but in the long term, Aston Villa will be a very, very good team because of what we did in January.
I think that was always the case, wasn't it, to get these players in, the likes of Conor Horan, get them in early, bed them down before next season where it's a real assault on the league. Likes of Scott Hogan as well, obviously coming back now, he scored his first goal at the weekend, coming off the bench, returning to full fitness. That's an important thing as well going forwards, and especially where we could have quite easily conceded in games such as Wigan late on in the game where we've been 1-0 up, but we didn't. We scored the second with Scott Hogan scoring.
Yeah, I mean, Bruce obviously wants to play 4-4-2. He's bought Hogan. He ain't bought him to sit on the bench, has he? He's bought him to play alongside Codger. So we need to the end of the season now to find a system, and it looks like it might well be that 4-4-2. Make that work. I mean, could we still make a late charge for the playoffs? Probably not. I think we have left ourselves too much to do, and it's really unfortunate that we did have such a rank January. But Hogan's another one. If you give him time, he gets a run of games and he stays fit. We'll see the benefits next season.
Totally. I think overall, though, the signings, I think that's been an important factor in what he's going right at the moment, as you touched on. Being prepared for next season, because we have sort of basically got the whole blueprint for a squad that's going to set for a promotion push next season. The likes of Scott Hogan, the likes of Henry Lansbury that we signed, Conor Horan, Berkey Bjarnason, who's a good utility player. Let's face it, he hadn't had the greatest of starts, but that was due to fitness as well as anything else. And then possibly goalkeepers the only other issue. The other notable one is James Bree, who I think has done himself a lot of favours in the way he's played recently. He's played really well on that right-hand side.
Yeah, he's more of one for the future who you'll think will get better over a longer period of time. I mean, I think the Alan Hutton loving, he's going to find it difficult to shift Hutton at the current moment. He seems to have turned into a real cult hero. But again, the run we're on, I can't really say anything bad about him. So it's all pointing to good things for the future and good things for now. It's really important that we end this season strongly, and it's nice for us to be able to do a show for once where we feel like we're talking about Aston Villa making positive strides, because too often we've had to sit and do shows and try and unpick where it's all gone wrong. At the moment, it's all positive, so that's great for us as well.
Totally, I totally agree. And I think one of the main factors for this is somebody that people might underestimate, and that's Mile Jedinak for me. I think him being back in that side has really proved such a pivotal part to everything that's gone right recently. And he's even played centre-back, which could potentially reincarnate him when he gets to an age where he can't do the running that sometimes the central defensive midfield role requires.
I remain to be convinced that that's a long-term solution for him. I think long-term for him, even though he's getting on a bit, is the midfield three. He obviously can't play 4-4-2 and have Jedinak in central midfield. That obviously cannot happen because he doesn't have the legs, and that puts a lot of pressure on either Hourihane or Lansbury, whoever will be playing alongside him. So he's obviously decided to move Jedinak back, and I don't know what he's going to do when Baker comes back. If he does want to persist with this 4-4-2, I think it'd be harsh to have Nathan Baker on the bench, and I think it'd be harsh on Jedinak to go on the bench, because I do think he offers a lot and he's one of our more important players.
For me, with Jedinak, I think he's been instrumental recently. I think he's a key part of our play, and I'm struggling to work out at the moment what's best, because it's great to have these options where we could go with a 4-3-3 with Jedinak sitting, or to go with 4-4-2 where maybe you'd have to drop Jedinak. But I think the main thing is the fact that with Jedinak, there's going to be a case of, can he play every game next season, for example? It's going to be tough for him to do that. So to have the option of playing a 4-4-2, perhaps Baker, and the two midfielder, Hourihane and Lansbury, also have the option to have the three-man in midfield of Jedinak with Hourihane and Lansbury. I think both could work quite well, and it's just a case of alternating between the two, depending on who we're playing, for example. But I think it'd be incredibly harsh at the moment, as you say, to drop Mile Jedinak to bring Nathan Baker in, but equally as harsh to keep Nathan Baker on the bench when he's fit. So it's a tough situation, but I think it's a good selection headache to have for Bruce, and it's one that should be welcomed, really, because Jedinak has been really important this season, and so has Nathan Baker.
I think what you say, you raise a good point about you need to be flexible. You can't just stick to one formation, because obviously we saw the other day on Sheffield Wednesday, the formation we were playing wasn't working, so we went to 4-4-2. I think we've got too many players long-term playing out of position at the moment. You can't be going into games with Alan Hutton right midfield and Jedinak at centre-back and Adoma up front, for example. That's too many players out of position. It's working at the moment, obviously, but long term, that isn't the answer. I think with Jedinak at centre back as well, that tells you more about Elphick and Richards' futures, because they both look like they're done to me. They've got an ageing defensive midfielder playing at centre back ahead of them at this stage of the season. That says to me that they're not going to be here next season. And I think Jedinak's done the job actually the last few games that we all expected Elphick to do, for us to be that real leader, really leading us from the back.
Totally, I think that is the case, and sort of sad to see with Elphick, but for me, Jedinak has been just so good, and I feel like he could still be playing in the Premier League right now, the way he's playing. And I think Crystal Palace at the moment probably do actually miss having him in their side, especially in the battle therein as well. Another reason I think for why it's so good at the moment for Villa is the connection between the fans and the players.
It's definitely been a long time since there was the connection between the fans and the players. The last time, I just now say it's not that long ago, but when Tim Sherwood came in for that second half of the season and we got to the FA Cup final, it felt like there was a connection brewing between the players, the fans, the manager. It all felt like it was coming together, and then we all know which way it ended up going. I think we are on the cusp of something special here. I think obviously we'll see it more next season, but this is the first time realistically that you felt there is going to be a bond between the players and the fans, and that's what you need. That's what all good teams have. I mean, you can't tell me that going to Villa Park and sitting there shouting at the players, slagging them off every week is enjoyable for the fans, and it 100% won't be for the players either. I mean, you cannot underestimate the impact that the fans can actually have on the performances. I mean, I know the players have to get the fans on side as well, but we've seen in previous years the toxic relationship between the fans and the players. It does no one any favours, but now the going's good. You can see that the fans and the players are going in the same direction, pulling in the same direction. That's it from Matt and I today on the Villa View. We do hope you enjoyed this video, and as I say, it is really nice to talk about something positive about the club for once, so long may that continue, and hopefully we'll be making plenty of positive videos in the future now. Give the video a like if you did enjoy this video. Comment below with what you think is currently going right with Aston Villa. Please keep subscribing in your numbers. Subscribers are continuing to shoot up, and we cannot thank you all enough for the support that you give us. Remember, catch up with our latest videos. We've got one with Ian Taylor, and we've got the first 2 parts of the Brian Little interview series, so make sure you check those out. Thanks again, up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.